when you have nothing to do to put on an episode or two. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's
I
nothing
know.
major. Yeah,
That's what I do with One Piece.
should just I knew it was coming. Stop. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Herbal Synergies, the shop. I am your host, Sinji. With me, my co-host, B.
What up?
What's up, Irby? How you doing today?
I'm swell today. I can't complain.
Okay, okay, all right.
It's nice and cool out. A balmy 79 degrees.
What do you got for a flavor this week, sir?
I'm going to go with that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Like showing Shuna some love here with a fight with the demon overlord, Alderman, She she surprised me. She had some new techniques. I knew she wasn't lacking, but I was like, oh, I knew she wasn't a combat type either. So I was like, oh, she has some nice little techniques. So yeah, that's what I'm going with.
I think I have to give credit to my man Benny Maru for taking down the incomplete Caribus in one strike. Well, more like two strikes.
Charybdis.
Charybdis.
Yeah.
But yeah, we both came out of slime. I'm waiting for the day where we both have the same flavor.
No, that'll never happen because I always pick something different than you.
Hey, we were close. I was the episode before yours in slime.
Shoot.
Shuna
Yeah.
surprised me.
Yeah, I was like, okay. She has some skills, some power. She's not completely defenseless,
And now
but she
Rimuru has a bunch of undead followers.
yes, it's crazy. Mm-mm-mm.
So since it was both of ours was slime, do you want to just go on and talk about slime?
Yeah, and we can go and start talking about slime.
Okay. I will do the previous episode and you can handle Shuna's episode. So in the previous episode, basically all the fights came to an end with everyone on every not all right. They didn't all win. Like the Snake Lady won her fight, and then Clayman did this thing where like Homeboy was gonna surrender, but I was like, nah, bruh. Swallow this pill, force this pill down your throat, and he turned into Charybdis. Um,
Yeah.
the second fight with Tiger Lady and who was helping Tiger Lady? Gabiru. We'll say that that fight came to a draw in the end. And then the third fight with Meld and Phobio, I think his name is.
Yeah.
They were completely outclassed. Like they had no shot of winning that fight. Those clown people, whoever they are, they're fucking strong as hell.
Yeah.
So in the second fight with Tiger Girl and Milim's people, um, they noticed. Well, they
So
actually.
Sophia, I think is her name.
I think it is Sufia actually.
Yes, I'm looking at it written down.
They realized that even though they're opposite sides, they're not exactly enemies, and like they kind of go into a standstill, continue fighting. But then when Caribus shows, how'd you say, Irby?
Charybdis is what
Car-
they say.
Charybdis shows up. They're like, "Yo, we gotta take out this," and then Benny Maru shows up, and he's just like, "I got this." Takes him out, and then turns his attention to Millions people. He's like, "Now I got this." I'm like, "Oh shit, it's about to go down," and like that really like solidified Benny Maru's spot as Rimuru's right hand for me personally. That episode.
Yeah. You also get to know a little bit about the Dragon Faithful and how they actually came to be. They were they're like a union between a dragon and a human, so
Yeah,
that's
but I
why they're
think I
that's why
think
they're
them
strong.
specifically, I think them
Yeah.
specifically are human with sworn dragon. born loyalty or something like that. Because he was going in. We got into that by saying he was saying that him and Gabiru are basically of the same origin.
Yeah, they're dragon newts, but like the dragon faithfuls, union between a human and a dragon. That's why Gabiru's sister turned human in her like evolution.
Not wait. I think
Yeah,
she just takes human form. I don't think she's the child of a human.
she's not a child of a human, but like they're like one and the same.
Yeah.
Where like if they're some people have that option. It's like the chromosomes are different. Like
Mm-hmm.
when she evolved, she ended up turning into a human. But when Gabiru evolved, he ended up just growing wings. So
Yeah. And then that concluded that episode. We went back up to Rimuru and like you can take this one.
yeah, I kind of well, I just had some other notes too. The fight with Albus was in Yazaman. He had a little artifact that was pretty cool. You know,
It was
created
cool, but it amounted. It's like okay, it's like my complaint with what my complaint's gonna be with Baji when we talk about Tokyo Revengers. It was short
mm,
lived.
it was. Yeah, he basically gave him a doppelganger, and then she crushed it, and then crushed him. So moving on. The next
To
episode
Isa.
545 is Outerman, the index finger. Um, so it starts off with Valdora talking to Rimuru, and they're filling people in on the demon lords. He only knows four, four of the remaining five that are left. So the other demon lord tells him who the 10th one is. So that's pretty much from there. And then the concierge lady shows up and takes him to the world. Then we cut to Shui and the princess Shuna and Hakuro, and they're walking through the forest and they're surrounded by skeletons after they reach a certain point, and they have to fight Outerman, and he has an army of undead followers. It might be limitless. I'm not sure, but he has a death dragon and a swordsman. And this is when Shuna starts to fight. She's like, "Oh, you can't take care of the dragon. Only I can take care of the of Alderman. You take care of the dragon." And then she proceeds to put up a barrier that pushes everyone out, or I think she purifies them. I'm not sure what she does, but they just disappear. And so she starts fighting them, and she has a miracle. And then she said, "Oh, I figured you was a man of the cloth by what you wore, and you lost your faith or way or whatever you want to say." So they get in a battle of miracles, and then she crushes them all. So after the fight, they want to. They somehow they come back. I'm not sure how they come back, but they want to
They want to
meet.
they want to worship Rimuru.
Yeah, they want to meet Shuna's god, and she's like, "Well, he's not really a god, but we revere him." And da, da, da. I was like, "I guess you can meet him." And then he's like, "Oh yeah, everyone, we get to meet our new god." And they're like, "What? Ruh-roh."
And she's just under impression that they won't worship him once they meet him.
Yeah, or I think like she thinks they'll move on because they're tied to the land there for whatever spell curse it is, and she's thinking that once they meet Rimuru that they'll move on. So then we flash back to the demon lords and they start to arrive,
Okay,
and
so there's not much going on in this
mm,
area, but before you continue, the end has me so hype for next week. And by next week, I
yeah,
mean like the next 4 days. But go ahead.
yeah. So they arrive and then they all aren't what they seem. Like the one handmaid, he Rimuru thinks is actually the demon lord, but she's being low profile, and then so nothing happens. They talk, and then Clayman smacks Maline. I can't remember. I think he had a confrontation with uh,
Leon.
Leon first,
Mm-hmm.
and he was telling him, he was like, "Well, if you can meet me in my castle if you want." So
Yeah,
you get the
Rimuru was
yeah,
like, she didn't ask me to do this, but let me hit you for her one time. And he's like, nah. She made her
yeah,
own choices. I don't feel I should be hit because of that. It was her fault. She couldn't get along with Ifrit. But if you still feel like there's a problem with what I did, come to my castle. I'll give you an invitation.
yeah. So
And then that
so
bastard Clayman, who's probably the weakest demon lord. It honestly, other than like the little fairy chick, I'm drawing a blank on her name. Other than her,
um,
Clayman's probably the weakest demon lord there. Like that's just me speculating.
and then that's an I don't well the I guess the process. I, they did her process of becoming demon lord, but I kind of forget how she actually got one because I find it hard for her to kill like 10,000 people to become a demon lord in an instant. But that's just me. I feel like what did she didn't she die and be reborn as a demon lord or something? I
Yeah,
can't
she
remember.
basically doesn't. Yeah, she. It's not that she was reborn as a demon lord. It's just like every time her life cycles, she starts as like a small fairy again, and like has to accumulate the years to build back up to her. I guess prime. So right now
Yeah,
she's basically like a newborn.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that happens. Tensions are high. Rimru's aura's
Pissed,
out there. Yeah,
pissed. But now that we mentioned Homegirl and like her like new her current state, I feel like she's gonna have like a Nell moment from Bleach where like she just goes from 0 to 100 instead of like progressively getting up there. You know what I mean?
yeah. I know what you mean.
But yeah, I saw Rimuru pissed, and I was just like, oh, oh. And the whole time I was like, is he gonna ask Raphael like what the thing on her necklace or on her neck is? Like,
They kept looking at it, and I'm like, well, is she gonna say something about it?
yeah. And then it seems like Raphael like examines things by itself. So like I was wondering like, hey, yeah, you gonna come on, don't tease me. And then like it ended. It was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Till next
So
week.
yeah, I was like, okay, well, that's cool. I ain't mad. Yeah. So
Did I mention that
mm-mm.
I started watching Kobayashi, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid?
You did something, say something about it.
Um, it's a good like it's not. I like it, but not in a sense where like oh I need the next episode. It's like it's just a nice when you have nothing to do to put on an episode or two. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's
I
nothing
know.
major. Yeah,
That's what I do with One Piece.
should just I knew it was coming. Stop.
I was
There
like,
is no.
damn, nothing else to do. Let me throw in this great background sounds.
I'm on episode 4, and there's nothing major going on. It seems like the intro definitely spoils like I think the amount of people that's gonna be moving in with this chick. So like maybe once everyone is in the house, it'll pick up a little. But for now, it's a good time killer.
Yeah. I say the same about One Piece, but you know.
Moving on.
Yes. Where would you like to go to?
I wouldn't mind hearing a little about Tower of God.
Nah, Tower Guy's dead to me.
Damn,
Nah, it's not dead to me.
not like One Piece.
Yeah, One Piece. I don't even know why I even think about One Piece.
When are you gonna read that Bleach one shot?
I'm not. That's super dead to me. It's real dead.
You gotta read it. They're gonna come. You already know they're gonna come out with a new arc.
I'm. It's dead to me.
Okay.
But anyhow,
Well, hold on. If not Bleach, will you read the other story that author created once I get the book in.
What's the other story?
I think it's something witch. Hold on. I have it on my Amazon cart. It's pre-ordered because for whatever reason it takes so long for mangas to actually be released. But I got it. It's right. Where is it? Here it is. It is called Burn the Witch. It's supposed to be in the same world as Bleach, but like in a different country.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's like I don't think it's like hollows. I think it's like dragons and shit like that involved. So I don't know. We'll see. It's like I almost feel like maybe the author is setting up for like a cross thing going on. I don't know. Maybe, but we'll see. But carry on.
Yeah, so they're at the 97th floor, um, and basically this chapter they talk about the hidden floor and everyone. This is after they all are laying there and whatever, chit chatting it up, and two people they're talking about Bam. Let's see. Oh, okay. So they're on the train. There's some people. They're talking about some stuff, and two guards confront this one guy, Karaka, Bam's teacher, and he's going in there, and he basically wrecks shop, destroying everyone in the base, and talks about Karaka and tells him this, that, and the other. Like, why would you do that? All this, and then fast forward, Bam and Dorsey are having a date, and everyone's spying on them. But they made a 7-year-old promise, and then so Kun stops spying on them, and then they go and he tells Rand and Novik he wants them on his spare team, and then tasks them with finding Rachel and company to eliminate them. And Novak's the leader for the time being. And then Dorsey contemplates why she wanted to go on a date with Bam to begin with. And then we see Cassano teams up with Rachel and gives her Emily. And then, funny note here in this next chapter is Rat calls Kun a useless blue turtle, which is always hilarious to me. And Urek Manzino, they're supposed to meet them in the previous chapter, but he didn't. He was unable to meet, and they call that man a beast, and they don't want to get on his bad side. And then Ilmar, he's still in like a coma because he got his devil fruit power stolen, and that's why he can't wake up.
Motherfucker, did you say devil fruit power?
Yes, I slid that in there so you're paying attention.
Bruh, this shit fucked me up.
So then you actually find out that Cassano took his devil out, and they're actually two parts of the same devil. And now that he has both parts, he's probably stronger than Bam, and Vo now. And they want to awaken and ignite Emily. And then they locked up Horward after the workshop for some reason. I don't know why. And then they go back to her. It's like, oh, got us down the correct path. And then she tells him about the Hell Train and how it's impossible to stay alive, but you get to skip 7 floors. And then my boy Bam got a fade. So, and then Kun talks to his old teammates, and then the five guys playing with Rack, and he runs into Kun, and then they find out at the meeting that they're about to attend that there's predators on the train. Uh, Sachi Faker is a ticket hunter, and he fights people and he dominates and on one versus many. So you got to. I don't know if you come with a cruise the best because he's pretty good at that. And then we flash to Yiwa. She Horion tells her not to dig too deep because she's researching some stuff. She might find the worst mistake the Ten families made. And then outside there, Beta runs to the blonde leader. They call him Sweet and Sour. I forget his name. And Rand is going to capture Kasano tomorrow in that chapter. And then we learn a little bit more about the train, how they have to acquire an express ticket, and you have to steal the tickets. There's 100 tickets in total, less than five of a year. You can are able to be obtained. Horion makes team Kun a team captain, and she knows that he's making a team to kill Rachel, and he hopes Bam doesn't see him differently or whatever. And then they tell him see him in a year because they got to go train. Then Yuri visits her sister Relpelista, and she basically tells gives her a ticket and tells her Bam's going to be on this train. But Yuri can't actually board the train because she's a daughter of Jihad. But she's like, sister's like, oh, you can do it. I'll tell you how. And then we learn a little bit about the gates and the tower gates, how they open up for something they need, whether that be for stability, change, revolution, or liberty. And Yuri discovers that the plan may have been to hide Bam all along from the start. And her goal is to meet Bam and find out what happened. And then we hit a time skip, and then the ticket hunters on the one train. Train's finally here. The master fights a ticket collector, cuts the ticket collector in half, and then Emily springs back into action. So that's all I got for Tower of God.
So you covered a lot,
Yes.
dude. Like shit is shit is just beginning for you.
Yeah. I ain't too mad at it.
That train is gonna be so fucking hype, dog.
Definitely better than Weak Hero.
I love Weak Hero so much.
I
I
think
think
this might even got One Piece beat for me.
that doesn't take much. Let's not
Yeah.
let's not act like One Piece is higher in your radar, okay?
Yeah, you're right.
Motherfucker.
Don't be mad at me, man. Be mad at Luffy.
I can't be mad at Luffy. I love Luffy.
Hmm. Luffy don't love you. Luffy don't even know who you are.
You right? He Brazilian. We can't even talk.
Hmm. You could. Yeah.
But what shall we get into now? What else we got? What else we got? I only got the other two, right?
What other two?
Tokyo Revengers and Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes.
So yeah, all right. So let's do Tokyo Revengers. So I can take the lead on that, and then you can take the lead on Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes. You do as you please, Saya.
Yes, sir. Tokyo Revengers. Okay, back into what I was saying earlier about short-lived. Baji became one of my favorite characters, and the fucker did something really stupid in the last episode. And I know how I feel about it. I'm waiting to see the story progress a little. Um so rewinding a little bit, you know, as I kind of spoiled for Irby last week, Baji took on 50 people,
I
and
seen it last week.
you saw it last week?
I was just being a jerk.
You fucking asshole. I knew we didn't say anything. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure we said we were gonna watch it.
No, I just watch it because I just like to be ahead and not have anything to do. I won't be rushing.
Gotcha. Okay, well, Baji took down 50 people while he was bleeding out like a fucking badass and collapsed on the top of the cars right in front of Kasaki. Where where everyone was really confused, but Takamichi should have realized, like, oh, it must
Yeah,
have been, yeah,
you kind of you kind of blew past I think some other important items before you got there, but you
nah,
were
fuck that.
excited.
Yeah, nah, fuck that.
Yeah,
We're like, at this moment, like, okay, so rewinding a little, Baji is gonna go after Kisaki, Takamichi, and what the fuck's the guy's name? The one with the eye
Chifuya.
patch, Chifuya. I didn't write that down. I have names written down on my notes, but I didn't write his down. Chifuya and Takamichi are trying to team up with him, and he punches Chifuya, and then Takamichi like gets in his way and is holding him, and Katsutoro, without anyone noticing, disappears from the top of the pile of cars and stabs Baji in the back. Tells him to die, and then he's just like, "It's all Baji's fault. It's all Baji's fault. Blah 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 blah. I gotta kill him." I was like, "Bro, this man is certifiably nuts, insane."
Mm,
I don't know how he's rationalizing all this in his head, but fast forward to what um I was going through. Blah blah blah. Takamichi pushes Katsutoro away. Baji says, "Thank you, Takamichi." Now it's just a scratch. Bullshit. Man was bleeding out the whole time. So when he finally got to Kasaki, blood caught up to him, and he passed out.
mm.
Chifuyu in disbelief screamed out, "Bah! What'd you do, Kasaki?" It's like, you were watching. I did nothing. Which, technically true, but Kasaki probably did orchestrate that. Just saying.
Yeah. Well,
Go on.
well, part of that, Kazutora wanted to become a hero by killing the enemy because he had a whole monologue with Mikey um, before that, and then they decide that they're gonna go save Mikey Kun, and before that, I mean after that, Kisaki steps in and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna protect him," but this man doesn't have a scratch, no dirt, no nothing, doesn't look like he's been fighting the whole fight, and just shows up like, "Oh, we'll protect him."
Mm-hmm.
So then everyone's duped and they feel, especially Draken Con, he's like, "Oh, save Mikey." Like they just totally looked past the fact that they didn't see him the whole fight until now.
That's what I was saying. Like, motherfucker, what were you doing this whole time? Your
Yeah.
entire crew is completely unscathed.
Yeah. And then Takemichi recognizes someone of Valhalla with the mask because he's with Kisaki the day he passed him before. And then they realize that Kisaki doesn't care who actually wins the fight. He just wants to show up and look good by protecting Mikey.
Yeah, so like either way, the plan was going smooth. Like no matter who won, the plan was working.
Yeah.
Um, the main thing was trying to save Baji from dying, which we go to the next fucking episode after this passed out, almost fucking worked. Because after Baji passed out, Mikey woke up. Mikey woke up and Mikey went into some rage and started beating the shit out of this dude. And Takemichi, being the useless motherfucker who knows what was gonna happen and didn't try to stop it, just watches, helpless. Everyone just watches. Everyone's saying Mikey's gonna kill him. All right, well, someone stop this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Pull him off. Hold him down. There's about 100 of you nearby.
Yeah. And then yeah, on the previous episode you do see that Kisaki was on the phone with Haname telling them stuff, and this is when you find out Baji actually beat Kisaki before.
That was
So that was the previous episode.
that was on the current episode.
Oh, that was the previous one.
Nah, it's the current one because
They
Kazutoro is reliving that as he's getting his ass beat.
well, they did a flashback, but
Mm-hmm.
my notes had that on the previous one.
Fuck your notes, cuz.
Hey man, notes never lie.
You right.
But yeah, it's all craziness going into there, and we find that Baji didn't want any of this either, and
Yes.
Kizuki's kind of uh, provoking Mikey too. saying that Kazuturo brought him into Valhalla to kill him himself. So it's like he's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
stoking the flames.
So like, Mikey just starts punching Kazutoto like the same way that Takemichi remembered, even though he didn't really live it, but like he lived it.
Yeah,
And Baji actually wakes up and screams Mikey, which gets him to stop. But then the fucking dumbass pulls out a butterfly knife and stabs himself
yeah.
and
I've
says, "He Kazutoto, you didn't kill me. I killed me." Like, what? No, you were alive. You were. You didn't have to die. What the fuck are you doing?
yeah. I also did like how Mikey crushed a dude with a single kick. Haname just put
Hanma,
him down.
Hanma,
Yeah,
whatever. I think it's Hanma.
Hanma put him down.
Yo, Mikey. Who said this
And
fight could be over? Boom, it's over. Damn.
yeah,
My yeah, my he was twitching, bro.
yeah, they put him down. And then Kazuturo was saying that betrayal is human nature and says that we gotta sell this, Mikey. Either you die or I die.
See,
So
at this point, I think Kazutoto realizes he's fucking up, but at this
yeah,
point, like he can't deal with what he's been doing, so he's just like his only answer is to continue to fight Mikey. It's one of those pride moments. Like even when you get like into a heated argument, even after you realize you're wrong, you got to finish your fucking argument or fight or whatever.
yeah, I get in those all the time.
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Sometimes you just be like, all right, guy, you got it. Keep it moving.
Nah, nah. I gotta prove my point. Even if I realize my point's wrong, I gotta prove it.
Yeah, I know. That's why we be having arguments.
We won't even have arguments. You're just a troll.
Nah, not me, sir. But anyhow, yeah, I had that idiot stab himself.
Yeah, the
And
idiot
then,
stabbed himself. And I like Baji. Baji's character grew on me very quickly, and then he died on me very quickly, and I was very upset about it. And I was just like, I didn't know how to react. And then Takemichi finally decided to be a little useful and in between the beating between him and Mikey and Kazutoro, because Baji, before he died, said he's leaving Tomen to Takemichi. And I'm like, why are you leaving to Takemichi? What have you seen in Takemichi other than he can get his ass beat? Why?
he kind of
You could have
he,
left it to
he
your VP. I don't fucking know.
well he said that he reminded him of Shinjiro or whatever you pronounce Mikey's older brother.
Mm-hmm.
So that's might have been why.
It could be. But then, alright, so Takamichi decides he's gonna get his ass beat by Mikey, because Mikey's too fucking mad to be like, oh, Takamichi's my friend, so I'm not gonna punch him. No, Takamichi's in my fucking way, and I'm about to kill him too. Until
Yeah,
Takamichi takes his Toman jacket off, which I didn't understand the purpose of that, because you weren't gonna square up with Mikey. You just, it's not gonna happen. And then the charm
yeah,
fell out, and it triggered a memory for everyone that I am eagerly awaiting to watch tomorrow morning.
yeah. Also, there was a point where Baji was confiding in Chifuyu and Takamichi that Kisuke had a whole plan on how to get Pa out of jail if he could become the third captain, and he overheard it. So he already knew he was a traitor, and he wanted to bring that to light, but he couldn't get the evidence before he died. And then he had called all of his Toman founders his treasures and wanted them not to fight and stuff. So yeah, I guess tomorrow will be a good episode. Don't know when
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch it.
I'm watching it tomorrow. Herbie, when the season ends, can we read?
Nah.
Well, if we ain't doing it, I'm doing it. I'm letting you know right now.
Mm. So I guess it's a dictatorship, huh?
Listen, we don't have to talk about it.
Mm.
I want to continue the story. I don't want to wait a season and however long it takes. You never know. You never know when it's gonna come out. It could be Attack on Titans and take 4 years to fucking come out with another season. I don't want to
Well,
wait. I
I'll
have
wait
more
4 years.
content. I have more content available to me.
Hmm.
It's just fighting. There's no like fighting looks good, but the story can be told just the same through the manga.
Hmm. Coming from the guy that always like to say, I like the anime so much better, so vivid in detail and color and da da da. I'm Senji.
All right, that is a terrible impression because I can name a couple episodes where I bitched about the animation changing shit in anime, changing shit compared to the manga a couple times.
Yeah, a couple times, but most of the time you say you prefer to watch than to read.
I prefer to watch action shit because it animates action shit better. Demon
Yes,
Slayer would probably be a lot more visually pleasing in animation. The
yes,
story's good. The
maybe.
animation, gotta. There's only so much you can see in a picture.
Yes. Imagination Station.
I ain't got time for that.
Oh, I got all the time in the world.
Now, sir, if you can lead us with Jujutsu Kaisen
Let's see. So it starts out with Yuji fighting Mahito,
and be
and
gentle telling Nabara's side of the story because
nah, ain't no gentleness.
be gentle with it, bro.
Mm-mm, no
Demon
gentleness.
Jujutsu Kaisen was giving me some Demon Slayer vibes these last 8 chapters, and like
Oh
I'm very
yeah,
concerned about a couple people.
yeah. Well, I ain't got no gentle in me. Just ask Steve, cause I be no horse borrowed on him in UFC. But anyhow, Yuji's fighting Mahito, and Nobara fights the doppelganger. So Nobara's fighting him. They're kind of going back and forth. She goes down and she sets up a trap and uses resonance. And so while she hit her nail and him and using resonance, the other doppelganger felt it too. So then Mojito's like, oh, she's not Yuji's not only one of my natural enemies, it's also this girl too. So then he flees and he goes to meet up with the other doppelganger, and then he touches Nobara, and this is when her life flashes before her eyes.
No, no, I like Nobara, bro. She's such a refreshing view on like a female character in anime.
Hmm. But yeah, her life flashes before our eyes. We get a flashback. We go back to when she was a kid, and we find a her friend Yuma. They talk about a blue backpack or how she wanted to be like a different colored backpack or something. It's something weird that doesn't really I don't think matters in the grand scheme of things. But we get that useless tidbit from Nail Sakura in there. So like what I did there, Nail Sakura. Crack myself up.
That's
But
that's
anyhow,
disrespectful. It takes a lot to be a Sakura. Nobara is not a Sakura, bro.
actually, it doesn't take anything to be Sakura because he's useless. So, but keep going. We
You keep going.
find we find that she looked up to this woman named Saori. I don't know how to say it, probably butchering it. And she was like kind of older sister to her. And they were both kind of strangers because they both moved in there together. And then we flash back to present day, and Mojito's talking some smack, and then he blows out inside her face. And she tells Yuji and the others that it was fun or whatever before she gets her eye blown out.
Went out in fucking style, bro.
Yeah,
Said fuck it. I had a good life. Time to go.
yeah. So then they start fighting again, and he starts beating up Yuji, and he tells them that they're the same. That they, but for him, Mojito will kill anyone without hesitation, and Yuji will save anyone without hesitation. So I guess they're what he's trying to say is they're two sides of the same coin. And then he's about to get dealt a blow, and then Toto shows up. And pretty much in this chapter, Toto tells Yuji either to buck up or shut up. He's like, don't defile the memories of Yuji and um, defile the memories of Naname and Nobaro. and then so Yuji gets back in the fight. So then Mekamaru has a moment with Miwa. Basically, Mekamaru he went in and he like doctored some stuff to get some people sent out certain places on assignments and this that, and the other. But he knew that Toto wouldn't die or something supposedly wouldn't die, but Miwa wasn't there, and she's like, why am I not there? Am I too weak or this, that, and the other? And he's like, no, this, that, blah, 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 stuff that really doesn't even matter. But he likes Miwa, so I guess he was trying to save her from actually dying because maybe everyone that shows up dies. I don't know. Might be Demon Slayer 2.0. So then that happens, and they both start fighting Mahito again. But we this is a chapter I believe that we learn that that hit the Toto's younger brother, he has an ability to stop injuries where they exist so they won't get any worse or they won't get any better.
Mm-hmm.
So he uses power on Yuji and Toto, and he said, I use it on that girl back there, but there's no guarantee. She has no pulse. She has no this, no that. He's like, but after y'all start fighting, I'm gonna go take her and get some help. So maybe she'll be alive. I don't know.
I had hope for her before I read that. I was just like, I felt like after they killed Nanami and they had my man looking like a zombie, a pure fucking zombie. I was just like, ooh, are we just killing characters off now? Are we like that close to the end or something?
Well, they still have a whole nother, I think, 70 chapters. So
I just
some
think,
some people some
yeah,
people might get killed off, but
yeah. I just think it's weird that Yuji has like almost all the fingers now.
yeah, I I think there was just like 20, and he has 15.
Yeah, I think that's
Mm,
exactly right.
yeah, so it might be Demon Slayer ish, but Yuji also before he got back in the fight, he was in turmoil, saying he's a murderer. He's this, that, and the other. He's like, I just let people die. I can't save anyone, and was feeling real sorry for herself. So it all happened, fade away. Man's back in the fight, and Mojito uses a technique to split them up, and he puts a bunch of soul into a body and separates Toto and Yuji. And these creatures that fight Toto, they're strong, but they're only like one shot creatures. So after you survive their attack, they hit them and then they blow up. So then he defeats them and then he comes back to fight Mojito, and then Mojito uses domain expansion. So he also with his domain expansion he uses he activated a curse technique too. So he fights him and he chops off my man Toto's hand so you can't clap. But this is a good fight up until this point. And I was like, oh man.
I mean, it was still a
That's,
little good even after. And like the real thing was he got the idea of his domain expansion from Gojo, opening it for 0.2 seconds. So he had enough time to take care of Toto, and Sukuna didn't have enough time to kill him for messing with his soul or some shit.
yeah. Yeah, so they did that and then he's like, go ahead and switch with him because he's getting ready to die. But they just went to fighting. And also they did a 29.1 chapter episode, which was kind of silly. They didn't really say much or do much in that episode. Did you read it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was silliness. But yeah, so it was a good fight. Chopped his hand. He's like, I barely touched him for a second, and this is what happened. And I think Toto's incapacitated. But I did find it strange how the necklace opened up, and it was Yuji and that pop star girl in there. It's like, oh. First, I was like, "Is that his sister?" I was like, "He ain't got no sister." I was like, "That's that pop star he's always interested in."
He cares a lot about Yuji.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird, but like, hey, whatever
yeah,
gets you by. You know what I mean?
yeah. So that's what happened. Nothing too much in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Meanwhile,
Other than
Yuji's over here
that,
living with the guilt of Megumi and Nabarro possibly being dead.
oh, I think Megami's gonna be fine.
Yeah, he's gonna be
Nobaru,
fine, but like, Sukuna is the one who like tried to keep him alive. So I think Yuji thinks he's dead.
yeah, I definitely think Nobara, she might survive. She might be a pirate, but
So
still,
she might be wearing a Kakashi mask.
yeah, she could put a cursed eye in there or hold her nails in there.
Just keep
Uh,
a nail in her eye socket just in case.
no, keep a whole pack of nails in her eye socket, or she could do like a nail turret gun out of her eye. Just
All right.
yeah,
So you got anything you looking forward to, Irby?
nope. I'm looking forward. Well, I do got one thing I'm looking forward to.
What's that?
You want hazard a guess?
The ending of One Piece.
Yes,
Now, is that what you were gonna say?
that was what I was gonna say.
All right. Well, fuck you, sincerely, sir.
Yeah, I kind of looking forward to next week in Jujutsu Kaisen.
I'm looking forward to Slime next week.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be there.
Excuse me, one moment, sir. One moment.
What?
Okay, never mind. I had to scare my cat off. He was about to throw up, and my room has carpet. It's just it's a no go, no go. I had to. He can throw up, just not in my room.
Mm.
Uh,
Well, that's
but yeah, I'm
terrible.
looking forward to Slime. I'm looking forward to Tokyo Revengers. I want to see what's the deal with that charm. Even though I want to see the conclusion to the fight. Next tomorrow's episode's most likely gonna be just a flashback. And yeah, I'm interested to see read Jujutsu Kaisen, but like it's like third on my list.
Hmm.
I'm interested to read the next chapter of Solo Leveling. You're not reading that, but it's really good. And whenever you get time, I do recommend you read it because it's nearing its end, and
It's dead to me.
it can't be dead to you. It was never alive to you.
No, it was alive. It was dead to me after
You didn't even
after the
start it.
tournament killed it for me.
Oh, oh,
Yep, killed it all.
I mean,
Rigged tournament.
yo, guys, check out the last episode, the Tournament of Strength. Herbal Synergy is champion. Ainz from Overlord,
Dead to me.
who
The whole
belonged in a
thing.
completely different tournament.
Yes. He should have got a computer virus and been deleted, but that's neither here nor there.
We got to figure out what. Well, we got plenty of episodes before the next tournament, but we got to figure out what topic we're gonna do. I thought next one was gonna be a waifu list, but I think one of you guys mentioned super OP character tournament.
Nope. I can't remember.
All right, well, we'll go over details in like 8 more episodes.
Yes.
Anything you wanna? Any closing statements? It's a kind of a short episode this week. Not much to really discuss.
No, there was stuff. We just glossed over some stuff. Some integral details for people.
Nah, it was nothing of importance.
Mm,
Not to me,
yeah.
anyway.
Not to you. You don't find most stuff important.
Hey, well, you gotta get to the
Uh,
get to the action parts.
you don't even find the crux of our friendship important. So,
Getting a little deep,
real deep.
real deep.
So deep, put it to sleep.
6 feet.
Nah. Mm-mm. Shallow graves, 3 feet under.
All right, guys. That's Herbal Synergy. IRBAL SINERGY. Where can you find us? Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and other places. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. do what you do or have to do to help us grow in whatever platform you listen to us on. Anything you want to say, Irby?
Yes. Thank you guys. We appreciate your following support, and let us know if you would like to hear certain topics or look at certain things, or maybe if you just want a game sometime, we'll be down for that.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.